I think one of the major scary moments was, what if people are gonna see me as like a joke, you know? That I'm this small little girl who just opened this cafe, who wanted to do something that was out of this, you know, Hong Kong mentality, that was vegetarian, that was organic, it was a startup, and this girl said that she's a chef, does she even know how to cook, can she even raise a pot? There were a lot of these questions, you know. Again, it's the people that you meet along the way that you've built a good network with, and someone that Rory and I know from Four Seasons that I worked at, the PR director, Claire. She's been a good friend of mine, and just chefs, you know, from Four Seasons, from Peninsula, people that I've worked with, they just really believed in what I did and trusted me. So every single person just gave in their word and said, help this girl out, you know. And yeah, I think that really helped us move forward really quickly with over 60 publications covering us within 3 months. And then on top of that, we were also one of the first first restaurants, I would say, to use social media heavily to promote ourselves. So the use of Instagram, Facebooking. If you look back in 2012, actually rarely did any restaurants use social media. We used that using, you know, my little iPhone 4, taking pictures on a square little screen, and then reposted it, and people liked it, and people started following us, and they would come and visit, and then they would take pictures of it and then share it, and that was just so effective.
I guess one of our challenges was nobody ever had heard about these islands in Cambodia, so we had a whole destination marketing piece to do at the same time as nobody had ever heard of our brand, so there was a whole sort of global launch of that, and you know, very naively, and I think naivety is one of your biggest strengths as an entrepreneur. We thought, oh, you know, we'll just pitch it at the highest end of the market. You know, it can't be that hard. And so our room rate started at about $2,000 a night and go up to about $10,000. And the challenge there is that once those expectations are set, you know, that whole notion of you're in a turmoil of going, shit, can I actually execute on this? Can I deliver? Because once you've set the promise, you kind of have to follow through on that. And you set the promise to your staff, to your shareholders, to the media, to the trade. You know, so there's a it's a scary period, you know, when you're still not sure if you can actually pull it off. For us, it was really about telling stories, and you know, the story of Cambodia's islands was interesting. You know, our story had appeal to the media. So we really used PR. We've never done any paid advertising, and it's really just having using media to tell your stories. And I think as entrepreneurs, you know, I'm sure you've all got very unique stories, and you know, it's your story, and it's you know, it's one of your biggest assets.
After we made the decision that it was time to expand, now what do? I need the money. First of all, how do I get that money? And what are we promising, or at least sharing with our shareholders and letting them know what will they get in return? All of that requires, obviously, a business plan. And you can't really start a business plan in food and beverage unless you have a location. So the location really came to us really quickly and on its own. I did go around looking for, you know, spaces in Hong Kong, all over Hong Kong. We were really only looking for like 1,500 square feet type of place, somewhere that we could seat, you know, 40, 50 seats. Never would I have imagined the current space. But that space came to us when Press Room left. There were many people who came to us and said, you need to be there.
It is so much about the personal relationships. You know, you need to convince an investor that you can execute. But it's not the spreadsheet that'll execute it, it's you. So they need to believe that. And once they entrust their capital to you, it's a huge responsibility. And they need to be completely confident that you acknowledge that responsibility and that you are going to adhere to your side of the bargain. You know, and these are really intimate relationships. You know, everyone can get on when times are good, but invariably, for a startup, times are always tough, and you put any relationship under pressure, it generally goes one of two ways. So in the same way that they need to be out, they need to believe in you, and they need to have every confidence that you will do what you've said you're going to do. But don't forget that you need to be able to work with these guys. There needs to be a shared set of values. You need to have common trust and respect, and when times are tough, can you all work together to save the entity, and to protect the core, and to really ensure that you can weather the storm, because it's going to happen. I think it's those human aspects to fundraising and shareholders and putting in the governance structures and all those sorts of things that you do, that is just part of running a business and growing a startup. But I think it's far more emotional than it is rational, numbers based.